Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and I am getting a message here. Don't allow. Okay. I have to tell my computer, no, you do not have no, the internet does not have access to that part of my life. Sorry. Not sorry. Anyway, hope you all are doing well. This is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun Live, which is just a fun social gathering. I get to talk about stuff I'm doing in regards to the craft, sometimes more than that, and get to share with you different fibers, different projects I'm working on, and just also check in with my best group of friends, probably in the whole wide world outside of my small church community, and just love to hang out with you all. Well, let me go ahead and I'm going to just jump right on into the chat, and then we'll talk a little bit about the fair. It's still going on in Montgomery County. I'm done, but we're going to talk about that a little bit. But let me go ahead and say hey to folks. Kelly, good to have you in our chat today. Wow, she says, I'm studying the Bible and listening and watching you from work. Sweet. Um, yeah, my favorite book. I like to study that a little bit every day when I can. Um, Helps me to set my compass straight in this crazy world we live in. And Miss Wanda Gordon, so good to have you here. She says, hello, Miss Bonnie and everyone. Praying y'all are doing well. Beautiful day in North Carolina. Yes, ma'am. We're doing well. I'm actually thinking, I haven't committed to it yet. I'm thinking about washing my car this afternoon if it doesn't get too crazy hot. I looked at the temperature outside. It's only 80 degrees. So, I mean, that's very tolerable, especially to be outside playing in the water. And yeah, I don't run my car through a drive it through a car wash. Um, I have to be careful about the top on it, which is made of cloth. So, but really enjoy getting out there. I just need to give it a bath. And Marie, good to have you in the chat, my South Carolina friend, and Shatika Woods. Good morning to you. Thank you for the blessings right back at you. And Love to Craft says hello from my beautiful native land of Mexico. I've been here for 2 weeks. I will watch the replay once I get home to Southern California. Will you enjoy your time in Mexico? Beautiful place. I've been there a couple of times over, I guess I'd say my lifetime. First time was in 1980 with my high school band. And no, was that 80 or 81? That was 1981. And we had a fabulous time there. Um, just great memories of my time in Mexico. And Sandra, good morning to you. And she's wishing us all a beautiful day from beautiful, cool California. Uh, Good for you, Sandra. Enjoy that. And Patricia says hello. So excited to join you, Bonnie. Hope all are well. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, yes, we are doing well. From Alberta, Canada. Fantastic. I'm looking forward to going to Canada. Um, I'll just go ahead and get that out of the way in case some of you don't know. I'm going to be teaching up at Prince Edward's Island Fiber Festival, October 23rd through the 25th. Please join me if you can. I know it's a little more out of the ordinary if you're in the U.S., leaving the States. You do have to have a passport in order to pass through the border. Years ago, when I first got married in 1988, and for our first anniversary, my husband and I drove up to Canada. We were at the time living in Massachusetts and Andover. For those of you familiar with the cities there, my husband worked downtown at Mass General in Boston and doing some research. And we drove up to across the border. It was really interesting because we were in the French province, and a lot of the signs are in French, but we did not need anything but a driver's license to get through back then. Of course, post 9/11, you need a an, an accurate passport, or a passport that's um, current. But please join me at Delta Hotels Prince Edward on Queen Street in Charlottetown. I'll be teaching 5 classes there. Introduction to crocheting post cables. Got had a lot of different fun items on that one. Crocheting beautiful trims and borders. Intro to reading crochet patterns and stitch diagrams. Multiple ways to crochet ribbing and 3 ways to crochet braided cables. I promise to break these down for you in as simple terms as possible. And I do have a guarantee on the pattern, crochet pattern and stitch diagram reading class that you will be able to read those when you leave. The stitch diagrams are easier to read than meets the eye. I mean, much easier. And if you can read a text from a teenager, I know I have a hard time to. I'm not ragging on you teenagers, I promise. It's just from generation to generation, we tend to pick up different lingo. And with the invention of text messaging, as you know, everybody speaks in acronyms now instead of using full words. So I kind of take that approach to reading crochet patterns, and I promise you it's easier than reading text messages. Much, much easier. There are fewer acronyms to memorize, and they're very easy. So I promise you'll be able to read crochet patterns. It'll be easier than reading text messages. So please join me at Prince Edward Island, October 23rd through the 25th. I look forward to seeing you. I already booked. I'm going to try to get into town a day early. And I've booked a tour of kind of the island, and focusing on Anne of Green Gables. So really excited about that. Let me go ahead and bring Hannah from the chat here into my view. Um, all right. Patricia wants to know if I'll be coming to Edmonton. I don't know, Patricia. I have to look and find out where that is. I'm sorry, I'm not more geographically knowledgeable. I'll have to look that up on the map and see if it's on the way or not. I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm very, very focused right now. As you can imagine, we are 6 days out from like teaching at in Pittsburgh at the Pittsburgh Fiber Festival. A lot of my samples and things are already being packed in the other room. I've got been practicing my guitar with some fun songs. Probably most of the songs you've heard before at least once, but I'm going to be practicing for some parody songs for Saturday Night Live in Pittsburgh. And it's going to be a really fun show, very friendly, very family friendly, I promise. It's going to have games. We're going to have parody songs. We're going to have a fashion show that you can participate in. And when I say fashion show at these crochet events, we're not talking size. A lot of times you see fashion shows hit the runway and everybody's a size 0 or a size 2. Forget that. That's not our kind of fashion show. Our fashion show has real people. It has you, it has me. It just has people that are normal, usually people that eat 3 meals a day and don't do starvation diets. So if you're worried about any of that, don't. Okay. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you don't have to participate in that part of it, but there's going to be lots of giveaways and there's going to be just a lot of fun. Um, okay, thank you, Hannah. She's telling me Edmonton is in Alberta, Canada. I still need to look at a map and see. I'm also going to be getting back to the Canada thing, going to be traveling with my husband and not sure what he might have in mind as well. So since it's kind of a getaway for us to kind of, because it's going to take us 2 days of driving to get there and 2 days to get home. I'm not exactly sure what he has in mind, but we'll put our heads together and see what we can do. I will write that down to look that up. And just go ahead. Since I'm already talking about Pittsburgh, I'm going to get the business part out of the way right away. Pittsburgh, again, is August 22nd through the 24th. Yes, there is room in most classes. Now, the Celtic Weave and Beyond class is really filling up. I don't know that it's sold out, but it's very close. The other classes, I have room. And there is also going to be sign up on site. So if you want to sign up when you get there, that's fine. I'm going to be teaching classes such as Celtic Weave and Beyond, multiple ways to crochet ribbing, intro to broomstick lace crochet, I think this is going to be fun. It's recommended that you have a set of knitting needles. This is the set that I'm recommending. It's the one, they're circular with the cord attached. Now, if you end up in Pittsburgh, you didn't sign up and you want to take this class, I do have extra broomsticks, just to let you know. They're just the regular long straight ones that will work fine for the class. So if you just have the straight, size 50, they're usually red and they're about this long. That'll work too. I'm going to have those for students who show up at the last minute. I will have you covered. But if you are interested in learning broomstick for the long run and for working on some projects I'm going to show you in just a minute, you're going to want to invest in the circular set. And also, if you may even want to learn how to knit, I have a blanket um, right over here where you can use the same pair and learn how to knit. But we're not going to be knitting in that class. We're going to be learning broomstick crochet. And see, the other class that I'm excited about all the classes, but the one that's a brand new class to me, it's going to be the maiden journey on this one. It's transforming denim with crochet. So in this class, you don't even have to be a crocheter. You can, this is basically arts and crafts, but with clothing. And we're going to learn how to apply different things. We're going to learn all sorts of different options that you can do. And this class, it's not like you're going to do one thing and that's it. I'm hoping to equip you for the long run for things that you can do once you get home, so that you understand kind of how it's done, or how it can be done. There's no limit to this kind of a craft. But anyway, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So far, there are, I think, 5 people in that class only. So we do have room for more. It is kind of a lower cap on the number of people in that class. It does have an extra fee to it, just to let you know that. But it's because I've invested heavily in a lot of the supplies that I will be providing. But anyway, all right. Okay, Kelly wants to know if I'll be singing a song and playing the guitar again. I will in the future, um, maybe down the road. I am preparing for the program though in Pittsburgh, so we're going to be doing about 5 songs there, interspersed with games and whatnot. And oh, thank you. You like my shirt? Yes, this is a crocheted top, and I had the foresight to put the link in the video description. This is called the Popcorn Yoke Summer Top, and it's made with yarn that, as you can see, has a lot of flexibility to it. It is a bamboo pop sock by Universal Yarn. It's a fingering weight yarn, which is mostly a cotton breathable, and has a little bit of something called PBT, which is basically spandex, a little bit of elasticity added to the yarn, which gives it an elasticity that is really nice because it fits your shape. So as my favorite TV show from days gone by used to say, instead of looking like Gilligan, you can look like Ginger when you wear your shirt. I know I use that a lot, but I just can't improve upon it. My kids were raised on Gilligan's Island. Back in the day, we didn't watch much TV, but we did watch Gilligan's Island if things went well and studies were caught up anyway. Thank you, Hannah, for your comments there. Appreciate you keeping me up to date. Well, let me go ahead and get back to the chat for just a little bit. I don't want to get behind here. Again, I said, oh, Phil, it's good to have you in the chat. Says, good morning, everyone from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Unloading here, and then I need to go get a windshield replaced because I caught a rock a couple days ago. Oh, dear. Then heading home to New York for some R&R. From South Dakota to New York. That's quite a ride. I hope you can get that windshield replaced. Yeah, we've had to do that a couple times ourselves. That can be scary. Usually it's the little cars that get the windshield bashes, but wow, to get one that must have been quite a rock to hurt a tractor trailer. That's amazing. Glad you're okay. Glad it didn't cause an accident or anything. And as Wanda says, safe travels, Phil. Definitely wishing you that. Thank you, Wanda, for caring for our crochet friends in the chat like that. Oh, thank you, Susie. She's like, love the thumbnail. Good morning to all. Yeah, I have to talk about that. Let me talk about that a little bit. The thumbnail was one of the designs. I don't have the pattern or anything. It was made primarily of thread crochet. It's a pin cushion, and that was somebody made that at our local county fair, and it was one of the entries. I, I thought that was one of the best creative things that I saw there. I am not an official judge. I did volunteer and talk a little bit about that. I did volunteer about 16 hours over a 3-day period. It was exhausting too because it was, walking back and forth at the Montgomery County Agricultural Fair this year in the Home Arts Building in the crochet department, which I found out is the largest department in the Home Arts Building. Come on, nose, leave me alone. Anyway, we took in over 468 entries this year, which is fantastic. I think it's the most entries we've ever had. The only thing that made me a little sad is there were no entries with crocheted cables that I remember. I mean, nothing significant. And I thought, you know, if some of my friends or people had entered some designs with just some of the cabling, even some of the simpler cables that I design in my designs, you would have come away with blue and purple ribbons. I mean, I'm serious because anyway, so get your stuff ready. If you have ever hesitated or maybe you're afraid that your stuff isn't good enough or put all that aside, sweep it under the rug somewhere, take it out in the backyard, your fears and burn it. I mean, just get rid of it. Okay. First off, don't be afraid. I mean, and if you don't win something big, so what? You're going to learn. I believe you'll be encouraged. But I want to encourage you all to just step out in faith, and do that. If you're really, really afraid, I do have a book. It's an easy read. You can probably read it in an afternoon easily. This is on Amazon. It's I think $5 or $6, and this just talks about my experience of how do you get purple ribbons? How do you get the best of show? How do you get grand champion ribbons? How do you get first place ribbons? How do you get second place ribbons? I mean, how do they judge that? Um, so this is basically my take, and this is taking an actual judging sheet apart and looking at it to see what judges how they rate things. Now, in saying that, also know that there is a human element to the judging that is unpredictable. So so it's like watching the Olympics. You see your favorites and you see the fantastic things they do, and then you come away kind of scratching your head sometimes. Do you ever do that? I did some of that this weekend. I I pretty much agreed with the group of judges, the 2 judges that I worked with. I mean, I was not a part of that judging process, it was all up to them, but I was kind of a scribe keeping track of the records because there's a lot to go on, with that, and I was attaching the ribbons as they were telling me which ones went where, so I was keeping up with the which went, where and so forth. There's just a lot involved. It took, from 8:30 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just the judging process on Saturday. And I was tired and hungry when I got done with that. I did get to sample some leftover um, goodies though, which was kind of fun because they have judges judging just right behind us, judging, cookies, homemade fudge, and all kinds of sugary goodness. And they would, once they had their samples that they were going to put on display, and after the judges had finished, everything had been judged, they had some extras left over, and they would come over and say, "You want to try anything?" And you're like, "Yeah." So that was a lot of fun. Um, but getting back to entering in the fair, don't be afraid. Um, the one downfall that I saw that would have changed the results, though, at the end for the best of show this year was on this. I still think they should have given it to this other Afghan, if I'm honest, because it was just stunning. I put one of these pictures in a short slideshow that I've had on Facebook. I may have to upload that to my YouTube channel as well, just so that you all can see. I may do that this afternoon or tomorrow. But there is a picture of this fantastic uh, throw. It had flowers. I mean, every flower was different, and it was just stunning. But they found one strand about this long that was unhidden on it, so that bumped it down to just a grand champion instead of the best of show. There's not a money difference. There's not a like a big money prize, so it's not that, but it just made me sad because they ended up giving the grand champion to a shawl. It was a beautiful shawl. I mean, hands down, it was gorgeous. But had it been me, I think I would have gone more for the Afghan because I just feel like it was 10 times the work that even a nice shawl is. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I'm not an official judge, and I had no say in the final matter. That was made very clear to me, and I'm like, that's cool. I understand that. But anyway, so, but get out there. Don't be afraid. Volunteer at your county fair if you can. If it's within driving distance, if it's something nearby. I'm not trying to make you all do something that's a hardship, to you, but get involved. You'll be able to meet some of the nicest people. And generally speaking, you might meet an aberration of the curb that's maybe they need to learn how to be nice. I've met some of those too, in all um, yeah, to be open and true. Not everybody's perfect. That's in crafts. We all know that. Starting with me, anything but perfect here. But anyway, get out, get involved if you can. I think you'll really enjoy it, and it may just open up a whole new community for you that you would just love being involved. Um, okay, Swati wants to know when the rug will be getting released. Okay, this is the rug Swati's talking about. This is the wagon wheel rug. Not this Monday, but the Monday following. So the last month is the last Monday in August. Can you believe it? Where's August going? Um, so this is the wagon wheel throw. I believe I used 11 skeins of the paint box yarn, super chunky. I don't have one of those um, balls of yarn to show you right now. It is this brand though, Paint Box Yarns, and it's 100% acrylic. It's super chunky. It's a size 7. Now they do have a chunky yarn that's a size 5. Um, that's that's not thick enough for what I used, but it'll be coming out. Like I said, a week from Monday. So and M wants to know for the broomstick scarf, if they don't make the fringes, do they need a border? Um, you can do whatever you want on that. You know what I would recommend if you don't want to use fringe? I would use post ribbing. Um, that's where you would make the first row just a row of double crochet, and then the rows that come after that, front post, back post, front post, back post, alternating back and forth, and you can get a really nice, like the top of this is like a ribbed border. But you can, do I have it down here? No, it's not on the bottom. Do I have, okay, I have one right here. Okay, this is the, okay, this is the Blue Ridge, and this is what I'm talking about. You can just do a ribbed border like this. And depending on how many rows, I mean, you can make this an inch long, you can make it 2 inches long, keep it as short or make it as long as you'd like. But I would add that if you don't like fringe. It's the easiest border, and I think it's kind of neutral, as far as if you're making it for a guy or for a girl, it's not too feminine, you know. Um, so either way, although I'm not sure I would do a broomstick scarf for a guy. Anyway, that's just my personal preference. You might want to. I don't think my guys would go for it. But anyway, yeah, let me get back to the um oh, wait a minute. Let me just I finish up with the fair. Yeah, I just can't emphasize enough. I just had a really great time. I was exhausted. I needed to rest my back for a couple of days. Um, rested Saturday, I mean Sunday, and Monday was kind of a down day for me. standing on concrete and all, and doing running and stuff. But there are a lot of different ways you can volunteer. Some are just sitting down jobs, and mine just happened to be up and about, which was actually better than for me sitting because it doesn't do my back to do too much of any one thing. But it was just a wonderful time. The Montgomery County Fair is still open. The last day where you can see everything on display will be Saturday. If you entered into the fair you'd need to pick up your things on Sunday. I think it's between, I don't know, 10 to 2 or something like that. But whenever you do enter the fair, make sure that you're aware of pickup times when the fair is over, because the last thing you want to do is have lose your things forever and, have them donated. Afterwards you want to, be able to pick up your ribbons and your special things that you made. All right. Hannah, thank you so much for keeping up with those questions. And Red Hook, it's great to have you in the chat. Says a beautiful, sunny Ravenna, Ohio. Wow. I was just thinking of you this morning on my prayer list. I was glad that you're doing well. Yeah, thank you, Kelly. Yeah, it wasn't a teddy bear that I posted. It was a picture of a grandma. Did you notice she has a little tiny granny square scarf or shawl on, and then she's got pins in a very uncomfortable position. I'll thank you for a reminder on the thumbs up, Susie Pops Creations. And Jesus Joy 7 says, good day, Bonnie, Hannah, and Yarny Group. I pray you're all well, enjoying your day. Yes, ma'am. I hope you and your husband are healing well. Um, with all those tendons in your legs and whatnot. Hope things are going well with that. I am way behind. Let me see if I can keep a going here. Sorry guys, I have just gotten behind. Yikes. And thanks for the traveling mercies, Jesus Joy 7. I appreciate that. May you enjoy your much needed rest time off. Yeah. Yeah, okay, talking about Phil. Thank you. Yeah, that's great to take care of him that way. And Luann, good afternoon to you. And hi, Swati. It's good to have you in the chat, my friend. And let's see. Swati says, been dealing with some terrible hand pain lately, so I'm unfortunately taking a break from much crochet and knitting. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that, Swati. We'll keep you and your mom as well in prayer. And is it Armel? Good morning to you, or good afternoon. I guess we're in the afternoon now here on the East Coast. And thank you, Hannah, for taking care of Swati there. And Luann Lee, hello to you. And Carol says, good day, Hannah, Bonnie, and all. Time for a cup of coffee while watching. It's 9 a.m. here. I slept in. Oh, boy. That reminds me, just to do a little teaser, we do have something special brewing here at Bonnie Bay Crochet for September. So get your hooks ready for a very interesting throw that's coming this way. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So stay tuned. And Jet1N says, hello, lovely Bonnie. You are too kind. Got your email, been planning travel, but not sure if it'll work out this year as I'm coming from Idaho. Ooh, hard to get east. Yeah, that's a long way. I actually tried looking into taking a trip out your way out west. I forget where it was. It was in one of the western states. I can't remember right now, but it was for a Native American flute thing. And just getting there was going to be so difficult because I'd have to fly to a major airport and rent a car and drive about 5 or 6 more hours to get where the location was. And there was only one place to stay for miles and miles and miles. So I was like, well, I might have to wait on that just for a little bit. But I understand traveling sometimes can be exhausting. But definitely look for something. I try to encourage folks all the time. I'm sad when I get, know some people saying, I can't get to Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, it's too far. And yeah, I understand. these conferences are an investment in time and money to get to. I totally get that. I really think it's very beneficial though if you can, if you can't travel, far. I get that. I'm not doing. Well, I guess I am doing some of that travel this year, mostly by car. But if you can't do that, I always encourage folks look locally. You might be surprised what you find. You may find a fantastic fiber festival or happening in your area that you've never heard of before. That happened to me several years ago. I was totally clueless. Let's say about 10 years ago. I was totally clueless that the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival was even a thing. And then come to find out, it's probably the second largest in the entire country, probably second to Rhinebeck in New York. And it's so big. You just can't see all the vendors. That's how many there are. I mean, it's just lots going on, lots with real sheep and real people and spinning and the whole gambit. So just look local and see what you can find. You might be surprised, especially if you're near a major city in the US. You might, or in the UK, or from other countries. Look locally and see what you can find. I think you might be surprised. Um, and definitely get involved locally if you can and just seek that out. Um, and Jet Woman says, busy morning, so I'll have to watch the replay. Much love to you, Bonnie. If I make it, I'll see you at the festival at the end of this month. If not, I'll try for next year. Yeah, I hope to be there next year too, although I don't know from year to year how things are gonna go. But yeah, but definitely try looking locally too. And Margita, it's good to have you in the chat. Um, and let's see, Mary Kelly, welcome. Glad to have you here. And Trish, hi to you. And Patricia says, Canadian Airlines is on strike. Well, that's not good. Oh boy. Well, I'm glad I'm driving. I am driving up to Prince Edward Island. So at least that's the plan for now. We're driving our car with 270,000 miles on it, and which we changed the oil religiously on so that we can get more and more and more miles. So we're hoping our Old Faithful holds out. Okay, and Patricia, the Edmonton. Okay, somebody was weighing in on that. And Donna, welcome. And DC says, "Hey Bonnie, how are you doing? Any new shawl coming up?" I the only thing that I have that's been released just recently is the broomstick. Okay, I'll put my hand under here so that you can see the stitching better. Okay, the broomstick cape. This was just released this past week. So this is the newest, the latest and the greatest, I guess you can say. And yeah, I'm just calling this the broomstick cape. It's made out of fingering weight yarn. The yarn is hand dyed. And I have to tell you, I'm real excited. This I got the yarn from the yarn smith, and her name is Donna Smith. Yes, a real smith. And I told her this was releasing, and she was real excited about that. And has put a kit together. I do have a link in the video description. This takes 2 hanks of yarn, and you can get the kit. It does not include the beads. If you have to go to either Michael's. I do have beads added at the end. Now you don't have to do that. That's optional. But if you want to add the beads, you can get them at beadbiz.org, beadbiz.org. But I do have a link for the yarnsmith. 2 hanks of yarn for this cape, and she's putting it together for a special for my people for $40. So $40 for like over 900 yards of a hand dyed merino wool yarn is pretty spectacular. So just to let you know, that link is there. I do not get a kickback or anything on that. But I do encourage you to check her out. She's got fantastic yarn. I'm going to be seeing her in Pittsburgh, and I'll also be seeing the Bead Biz people. I'm probably going to get some more beads from them. I've got some yarn that I bought from Donna last year or this past year, and I want to match it with some beads. I didn't have this yarn before, but I have it now, so I'm going to do that. Um, oh, my pleasure, Denise. It's a joy to pray for you all. We all need it. And there's a question Hannah sent me. Would you be up to making a pattern of the granny for a pin cushion one day? Um, no, I probably won't do that. I tend to stay away from things that I don't own. I mean, that's not even never was my idea. So I want to, preserve that person's work as their own. But you might be able to, excuse me, you might be able to, you know, do something similar. But I don't. That's not really my strength, especially the way she made it was so intricate with the thread crochet. That's just not my strength. But but thanks for asking anyway. Um, Phil, I did not look that up last week. The Norman arch stitch. I need to write that down. I did not look it up. I'm so sorry. Let me write it down again and maybe I'll look at what I wrote. Last week I was just ARCH. Last week, right after the live, I had to wolf down my lunch and then make a beeline to the fair to get there in time to help take in entries. So it just totally fell off my radar. So I will look that up when I'm having lunch today. Hey, yay, we have a new viewer. It says sending a warm hello from Corpus Christi, Texas. I'm a newbie and completely fascinated with your videos, Aaron and Celtic Stitches. You are an exceptionally skilled teacher. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And welcome, 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 welcome to our community. This is a great bunch of folks, just to let you know. You can feel safe in the comments section. We have our heroic moderator, Hannah, my daughter, and she tries to help keep things in a positive light for all of us. So thank you and welcome, welcome. So glad you can join us. And Swati says, wish I could join you in Canada, but it's not a quick trip for me. Yeah, it's not going to be a quick trip for me either. But yeah, I just thought it would be really fun. I was intrigued. One of you guys, forget whom. Um, yes, Hannah, it is crocheted. Yeah, someone wanted to know if this was crocheted. Yes, it's definitely crocheted. It's broomstick crochet, and these little tiny stitches here are single crochets. So it's really not difficult. It may look difficult, but it's not. It's a mirage. It is not difficult. And that's one of the first things I'm going to dispel in the broomstick class, and you'll see that clearly if you watch one of the videos. And Sandra wants to know, do I currently have a how to read crochet video available? I do. It's from a long time ago. I'd have to look it up, but I do have a very basic video out there on how to read crochet patterns. It's an oldie. I'd have to look it up, but there is something there. I'm going to be going into much more detail, though, in the class. I mean, obviously, a 3-hour class, I'm going to be going through a lot more, and we're also going to be covering stitch patterns. So it's going to be fun. And Patricia says it's in Alberta. Okay, getting back to Edmondson, I guess it was. Carol says Canada's beautiful. Sounds like an amazing trip. I have to tell you, Canada, I saw a movie when I was in high school. This was at Epcot Center, and they had this theater, a 360-degree theater where you had to hold on to the bar so that you didn't fall over. That was back in early, like 1981. And I remember seeing that, and I thought, that's where I want to go for my honeymoon. I want to go to Canada. And I think what I was really intrigued by was flying over the snow-capped area. It was more of the western part of Canada. But ironically, from my first anniversary, we did get to drive up into Canada. We didn't get to drive up to the mountainous part. I still would like to get out to, the Alberta region, at some point. I have some friends who actually live out that way. Never been to that part. I absolutely love the Rocky Mountains and Colorado and, that area of the country, spectacular. Um, but yeah, it is a beautiful country. Um, yeah, and Phil's telling me that Alberta is north of North Dakota. Um, yeah. Yeah, nowhere near, PEI. Yeah, I won't be going there then, I'm sorry. I'm only gonna be driving up, through the New England area, of the States and then heading up, up across the border up into PEI. So, yeah, um, and Kelly wants to know, "How long have I been married?" By the grace of God, we have been married 37 years this past July. So it'll be kind of a belated anniversary trip because we didn't get a chance to do that back in July, mostly due to having welcomed a new granddaughter into our family. And hey, Denise, it's so glad to have you in the chat. Uh, Yeah, and Kelly says I should teach us on tutorials on how to read a pattern. Yeah, I have. Honestly, a lot of times those videos just don't gain any traction. I don't know why, but people just don't click on them, which is one reason why I haven't really focused. But on the other hand, every video that I release, with it that's design specific, spends a lot of time teaching the exact stitches that you need anyway. So I do. So it's like, okay, that was on reading a pattern. Okay, you're right. So I do. Maybe I will look at that. I'll look into maybe doing some more going forward. But again, I have done that on a beginning level, and if it just it doesn't seem to be what people are looking for in general. Why I don't know, but I think maybe because a lot of people are just watching the video tutorials, so they don't really need to worry about the written page. But I think both are important. I think it's important. I think videos are imperative for teaching brand new techniques, but I I I for one like to be released with just the pattern so that I'm not, kind of having to watch something a lot. So I think it's important. I tell people because I'm also I've taught music lessons for years, and there's a lot of different style of playing music. There's one where you are married to the written page, more the classical training, and that's kind of what I came up through to start. But early in high school, I started learning to play by ear, where I could pick out tunes and play without having the actual notes in front of me. So there are two different styles of playing, and I know a lot of people who are fantastic that never have read music. The Beatles, Paul McCartney is one. He doesn't, I don't know if that's true to this day, but I saw an interview years and years ago. I mean, not too long ago, actually. It says he doesn't read music, and none of the Beatles ever read music. They just would play by ear. They would pick it out, use chord charts, whatnot, to learn their music, which is one way of doing it. Um, but I think you need both. I really do think, like, for music, I think, having an ear to pick something out, to know the chord structure is important, but also having the ability to pick up a sheet of paper that you have no idea what it's gonna sound like and just be able to pick it up and play it. I think that's really important. Say, and I'm applying this to crochet patterns. Um, it's great that we can learn from YouTube. It's fantastic, but I think there are patterns that don't have videos, and it's really important. I have some of my patterns in a few of my different books were written and published before videos were a thing, before YouTube was anything really, when it was in its infancy or not even born yet. Um, and there are many patterns going back historically that are fantastic. You can find these older booklets in thrift stores and whatnot. I found books from the 1920s that are just gems, just nuggets of gold as far as crochet goes. And you wouldn't know what to do with that unless you can read crochet patterns. So reading, being able to just do something without a pattern is great, but being able to read is just even better. And if you ever want to get into crochet design, you need to know how to read, because you need to know how to write in that. At least you should be able to know how to read and write in the industry standard way of writing patterns. I know there are a lot of patterns being written out there that are like 50 pages long when they don't need to be but 1 or 2 pages, because they're not written they're just, it's like watching a video but on a piece of paper. So, which is not fun for me. I've printed out some of those, and it uses an enormous amount of ink from my computer printer, which is kind of troublesome. But anyway, so yeah, learning to read is important. I will take that to heart and see what I can come up with in the coming days, Kelly. But um, I have a lot of really good content coming this fall. I think, I'm not in a boastful way, but I think a lot of content that you're going to like. So I just need to figure out how to slip these things in there and have the time to do them. Ooh, Red Hook says, I just got my denim jacket and I'm so excited for this class. Yay! So glad you're going to be there. I was just packing away like thousands of these little sequences yesterday, putting them in my little boxes, and I was ironing the trim. We're going to be, they have like this trim that you can buy at the stores, or well, let me correct. I just have some trim that looks crocheted, but it's not. But you can add this all over the jacket. It's going to be so much fun. Um, and it was really hard for me to find this because I couldn't find any. Joann's was going out of business, but I did find some really great stuff on Amazon. So I'm really, really excited. I was ironing some of it out last night so it'll be ready to apply. And Denise says, I liked Gilligan's Island. Yeah. Um, Bob Denver was one of my favorites. Was so sad when he passed away. Um, Trish says, I look like Skipper. I'm tending that direction too, Trish, and that's okay. Skipper was a great guy. Oh, that's funny. Um, oh, thank you, Hannah, for getting the pattern. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, and let's see. And Trish says Bob Denver is from my hometown. His widow is still here. Oh, that is so cool, Trish. Yeah, he was definitely one of my favorites. Um, Hannah says to Trish, me too. I do love Alan Hale so much. I wouldn't mind being married to someone like him. Such a kind gentleman who left us too soon. Aw, you're going to make me cry, Hannah. Ah, and we have Radha says, hi, Bonnie. What class are you talking about? I just joined. I apologize for having you repeat, or please point me to a site where I can look for your class. If you're talking about Pittsburgh, there is a link in the video description below. And if you're talking about the classes at Prince Edward Island in October, look in the video description. I have a link for that too. Thank you, Hannah. And what is the plan for the release of the red poncho? Oh, okay, the red poncho behind me here. I'm looking at October. That will be sometime in October, Swati. Oh, I am so excited. I have it here? I do not have it here. I finished another baby blanket that will also be coming in October. I can't show it to you yet, but if you're in Pittsburgh, I'm going to be bringing it to Pittsburgh and you'll get a sneak peek there. It is a collaboration effort with my friend and fellow designer Jennifer Ryan of Celtic Knot Crochet. And some of you have remember taking a class with her with the Watch channel. And just to let you all know, I still haven't decided. I may do another watch hangout, maybe after Pittsburgh. So stay tuned for that. I don't have a class in mind. I'm still kind of in summer scatter mode, but we probably will do another watch hangout again after the Pittsburgh um, thing is done, because there's so much happening before then. But stay tuned for that. Um, Archer wondering if you'll need broomstick hooks for the cape. Okay, for the green cape that I just showed you, you're gonna need a crochet hook. Yes, you're gonna need a size. Well, I used a size G or 6 or 4.00 millimeter crochet hook because I was using very fine uh, fingering weight. And if you're gonna make anything broomstick in the round, these are very important. There is a way to work broomstick in the round with just broomsticks, just the straight sticks, but it is very, very cumbersome. I've done it, which is why when I saw these, I thought, I am so getting those. It just really makes things so much easier. So thank you, Hannah, for that prompt. Um, okay. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything wrong with my mic or not. I'm not doing anything different. It could have been my voice. Hmm. All right. Sorry about that. Hannah, can you tell me if I'm okay? If you're hearing the sound all right? Let me know if you can. Um, oh my goodness, Phil said talking about that rock that hit his windshield. Yeah, it hit hard and left a 2-inch shatter spot. That is not good. I think that would make my heart skip a few beats, Phil. I've had things hit the car, driving it, 70 miles an hour, and it'll get your attention. Uh, Thank you guys. You're so sweet. Okay, did I miss something? Did I miss something? Oh, right. Well, I'm gonna keep on going. And Denise says, Hannah, I agree. Alan was such a nice man. Yeah. I don't know if you've all ever seen it. Just reminds me of watching Alan Hale. He was in a couple of episodes of the Andy Griffith Show. This was the black and white ones. He is just really, really fun. Just he kind of was playing the same character that he plays, but in a different place and time. It was really funny. Okay, well, thank you, Hannah. I'm not sure what's with the broadcast, guys. If the I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'm not doing anything different, and battery is fine. All right. Oh, Trish says that Alan Hale's radio says his. Oh, maybe it's Bob Denver says his radio station still operates. Little Buddy Radio. Oh, oh, that's so sweet. And Phil says, "Oh, speaking of crochet cables, I saw a pattern on Pinterest that was a crocheted cable granny square. Then I saw it was AI. Well, I've never heard of. Well, it depends on how you define granny square because when I think of granny squares, I think of traditional granny square. There are a lot of alternative designs, but those are kind of, I don't even wouldn't call them granny squares. Yeah, thank you, Hannah. Um, all right. Actually, there is a at the fair there was a category for granny square throws, and then there was alternative squares is I think what they called them. They didn't even call them granny squares at that point, but I don't know, it's just a matter of semantics. Some people might argue one way or some people argue the other. um yeah. And Denise says that she didn't know about the radio station. Thanks for telling us. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to write that down too. I'd like to look that up. All right. I'm going to look that up and see what I can find. I think the lady who played Mary Ann, I know she was in radio for a long time out in LA, I think. Correct me if somebody knows better than that, but last I heard that Mary Ann was, still doing that, or she did that for many years afterwards. Um, and good morning, Cindy. Good to have you here, Cindy Ann Adventures, and Vima's Crochet. Great to have you with us. And huh. And Phil said that there was a lady that lived up the street from me who was the wife of Albert Brooks from the TV show Mr. Ed. I remember Mr. Ed, the talking horse. I can even sing you the theme song, but I will save you guys from that. um, and yeah, and thanks for the reminder of the thumbs up, Denise. I so appreciate that. Need all the help we can get, right? And Archer Nay says AI has no place in creativity. You hit the nail on the head or on the nose. You got that. You got that, Terry. Um, they're really good at taking others' creativity and morphing it into their own, but we're not going to go down that route. But yeah, and I have to tell you something. Who was it? Okay, the baby blanket. It's kind of funny. My daughter-in-law paid me a high compliment the other day. I showed her the design that my friend Jennifer and I have collaborated on. I showed her the final baby blanket, and she said, "That looks like AI. It looks so good." And I'm like, "Uh-oh." So I need to let you know that the surprise coming in September is not AI, and the blanket coming in October is not AI. This is by the sweat of the brow, okay? Using our hands, and something that you too can do as well. So anyway, but yeah, you're right. AI is it's interesting, but it's a little scary. It's a little scary for us creators, and it's I do thank YouTube for demonetizing videos that are AI generated, videos that are 100%. And there were a bunch of them taking over Facebook and taking over YouTube from regular creators. And so people would just say, speak into the AI or type keywords in and make me a video like this, and they would make it, and it was just siphoning, uh, watch time from people who are doing it in real time. So thank you, YouTube. So at least, I mean, they're still making those kind of videos, but um, at least they've taken away the incentive to make them. Okay. So I'm glad for that. At least they're not going to get rich doing that. It's taking from other people's creativity. Um, and Vima's crochet, she said, yes, answering Kelly's question. I do crochet video tutorials. Excellent. I'm going to have to look that. I think I subscribed to your channel, Vima, but good for you. And she says, I love making flowers. Very nice. And Swati says, I got 11 skeins of paint box super bulky. Okay, number 6. I may have said number 7, but I guess it is a number 6. Hope that's right. Yeah, I could have been wrong. Sorry, I said number 7. I'm going without a script here. And Vima was wondering if Swati was from India, and she says, I don't live in India. I am of Indian origin and have a lot of extended family there. Very cool. It's like one of my daughter-in-laws is actually from India, but she was adopted as an infant from Calcutta. And so when you meet her, it's very clear she's from Jersey. She's a Jersey girl, and Jersey girls don't pump gas. Just in case you've never heard that. For those of you who've never lived in New Jersey, it's really kind of cool. I like it when I go, have gone there to visit and have had to get gasoline. Is they do it all. It's the same price. It's no more. Actually, sometimes their gas in New Jersey is cheaper than Maryland because they have fewer taxes, believe it or not. And yeah, so that was one of the first things I learned when my son was dating my daughter-in-law, and just saying, yeah, Jersey girls don't pump gas. And it's just kind of a fun little thing. So she's had to learn to pump gas living in Pittsburgh now, which is not hard. You do have to be careful about it, though. I remember the days when we didn't have to pump our own gas, though. I can go back far enough where it was a normal thing to have people pump gas for you. Archer Nay says, wish I was going to Pittsburgh, but medical stuff and work. I hope you put up a tutorial on the denim jacket. We'll be talking, Terry. We'll be doing more of that probably. I'll see how the class goes, and I may do some video tutorials in the winter going forward. And Samantha says, hello from West Virginia. Sorry I'm here late. God bless you all. Well, thank you for joining us, Samantha. Sorry I'm so late getting to your comment. Um, yeah, I'm hoping I'm not skipping anybody. If I'm not doing it on purpose. Don't please also know that the chat when it comes in, and it's sitting on top chat, so it's not even on live chat. Well, I didn't do that. Let me go ahead and do that. So if I skipped you guys, it's not on purpose, I promise. Lots and lots of comments. Let's see. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm all mixed up. Spotty says, humor is like therapy for the soul, I think. I could cry or laugh, and I usually choose to laugh. Oh, I know what you mean. Well, that's basically what you're going to be getting. If you guys come to Pittsburgh Saturday night, it's called Live from, it's live from Pittsburgh. It's Saturday night. And like I said, it's going to be very family friendly. We're going to be doing a lot of laughing. Most people running the show, that is not their full-time gig in life. So I'm going to probably ask that all music critics just feel free to leave at the point we start, because once we start singing, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be funny. I hope it's going to be more funny than, if you're looking for a concert by Barbara Streisand or somebody like that, you can probably go to a movie that night. It's not going to be that, but we are going to have fun, and there's going to be free yarn. So what's not to like? And yeah, I agree with you, Swati. Good point about laughter. Says if you make others laugh, it's absolutely a bonus, and it's a blessing to bring laughter to others. I feel it is. It is. Life is too short to be a grump, you know? Hannah says, humor keeps me going. Yes, yes, ma'am. And we have a Heidi in the chat. Did I miss that? An A holder? Yeah, okay. Welcome, welcome. And Paul, absolutely fantastic. Well, welcome to our chat. Why is it I can't go any higher? All right. And Phil says, since you released that cape, it seems like everywhere I look, people are doing broomstick lace. Trendy, I guess. Well, you know what it might be? It might be the algorithm too, Phil, because if you clicked on my video that's broomstick, it may be feeding more of that from the past, things that have been done in the past, maybe feeding that into your algorithm. I know there are some crocheters years ago that did a lot of things with that, but I've not seen it in the round. I think it's because it's hard to do unless you have the special tools to do it. So putting those two together. All right. And Patricia says, Jasper, Alberta is absolutely gorgeous with its mountains. Beautiful anniversary honeymoon. Wow. That would be great. All right. If I missed your comment, like I said, I'm really, really sorry. I'm seeing things recycling all over again. Jesus Joy 7 says, thank you for your prayers and concerns about hubby and me. Hubby is improving. It's just tough for him. I'm getting over a bad UTI, but God is good. Ooh, do take care of that, because that could be indicators of other stuff. Do be on top of that. We will continue to pray for you both. I know it's hard to sit in active healing when you're used to being up and about. And Cindy says, I never learned how to read those stitch charts of a pattern. When I learned to crochet, there weren't any video tutorials. Yeah, same here, Cindy. And the stitch charts didn't exist. And honestly, I find them fine for some things like doilies where you're working lace. They're fantastic to use those. I think with what I do, not so much, because it's confusing when you get them crossing on top of each other. I have gone forward and learned how to make these using computer software, which has not been fun. And I do include them sometimes in my designs. I honestly don't think they help, just because of the nature of so many things crossing at the same time. But I do have them available. I do have at least the stitch diagram ones available now, which uh, it's been a learning curve. And Joni says, "I agree with you, Bonnie. I'm a visual learner, but I can read patterns." Yeah, I think we need both. If you're really gonna be comfortable and not intimidated by anything in the realm of crochet, I think we need both. Yeah. And Jesus Joy 7 says to Swati, "Yes, you're correct. Laughter is like medicine to the soul." Yep. Joni says, "I taught myself to crochet from books from the library and the computer, self-taught." Excellent. Um, okay. All right, I think I'm catching up to you guys finally. Um, Denise says, "I hurt my back pretty bad Saturday and haven't been able to do much. I couldn't even crochet until yesterday." Oh dear, Denise, I am so sorry to hear about that. I can commiserate with you. I mean, not recently, but that's something that my back likes to do every so often. I'm praying that doesn't happen before Pittsburgh or during Pittsburgh, but I hope you feel better. I will try to remember you in prayer. And Armel says, "I am French and I made the broomstick scarf for my granddaughter. I understood everything. Thanks, Bunny. Yay. I hope I pronounced your name okay. Um, my husband is the one who speaks French. I do not, except for keywords like bonjour." Anyway, um, and Joni says, "Yes, Cindy, when my children were little, we brought the children books home to read. They grew up with highlights magazines also." Oh, cool. Um, yeah, I don't know, Stephanie, about Mike. I'll see what I can do. I wish I had a better way of doing this. I used to broadcast using my phone, which was a lot better, but I've had to change be- when software updates changed and whatnot. Things were kind of got wonky at that point. Um, I'll take a listen to some of the lives and see what I can hear. And Phil back on the Twitch says, "Yes, traditional granny square pattern around the outside rows and a Celtic cable in the middle of the square." Now, I did do a square with a Celtic cable in the middle. The Bonnie's Bonbon throw does have, but I don't call those granny squares. They're just, I call them bonbons because they were made from a small bit of yarn. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, Carol was saying you can't find those kind of family-friendly shows anymore like Gilligan's Island and the Andy Griffith Show. Pray for our children and teens. Well, actually, I think sometimes they are on, METV, but they chop them up so much with, commercials and whatnot. When we were showing them to our kids, we just bought the DVD series. We bought them on, I don't know if we may even had VHS. No, I think they were DVDs by then. So we used DVDs to show them the program because nothing like that was on. We didn't watch network television back then. We still don't watch network television. We mostly watch YouTube and, you know, movies that we handpick. We are totally off of network television. I'm with you on that, Carol. Yeah, there's a lot of garbage out there for sure. Um, and Hannah's saying that we had Explore magazines and that had a section of the adventures, Tintin and Snowy at the end. I got my younger brothers into actually wanting to read. Yeah, our kids learned to read by reading Tintin comic books that my sister brought them from, she picked them up in Wales when she was over there. That's before Tintin was published in the US. So we're going back into some time traveling here. Um, and Hannah says, "I've actually found good kids shows here on YouTube lately. Magic School Bus, Reading Rainbow, and Between the Lions. So much fun." Yeah, Carol, just yeah, go to YouTube. You can see a lot there. And I think I dare say probably fewer commercials on YouTube than you're going to have on network television. So it's a win-win, I think. As long as the adults in the room are the ones controlling the clicker. That's what they, yeah, that's where thank you, Hannah. I know I've gone over a little bit, guys, but I just wanted to hang with you for a little bit. Um, let me see if there's anything. No. Okay. Okay. I think we're caught up. And Armel says, bye bye. It's late in France. See you soon. Yeah, you guys are like 7 hours ahead, 6 or 7 hours ahead of us, depending on where you are. Um, and Trish says, for Little Buddy Radio here in Princeton, West Virginia. Okay. I'll have to look for that Little Buddy Radio. And okay, Esther, good to see you in the chat. Esther, hope you're feeling well. Um, she says, hope you guys have a good weekend. God bless. Thank you so much. Let's see. Yeah. If I missed anybody, I really am sorry. I really trying to be all inclusive here while I can. Um, and Felicia says the Andy Griffith Show is on TV Land and Sundance TV. Also, Gilligan Island is on Sundance TV. Okay, I guess it really depends on what area of the country that you live in. But you can always, I know you can go on Amazon and probably buy the DVD collection on a lot of these. I know we've done that with some of our favorite shows. If you want to bother putting in a DVD, I know it's more than just going click, 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 but it works. And I hope you have a great weekend, Swati. And Cindy says, same here, there's too much stuff out there, and most of it leaves me feeling anxious rather than entertained. I pay for ad-free YouTube so my special needs son can watch without the commercials. I think that's really, really nice. And Cindy, thank you in advance just for, for supporting, that through YouTube, because I imagine some of that supports me a little bit as well. So just thank you for that. Okay, yeah, someone tried sending the link for the radio program, but that didn't work. Sorry about that. And Patricia, yes, great having you with us. She says, looking forward to your broomstick shawl. And well, before any more folks leave, let me go ahead. I just wanted to read, I have a couple verses I want to read to you. They're short and sweet. And yeah, these are from the Bible. For those of you who are new, I am a Christian. I'm not ashamed of that in any way. At the same time, I'm not trying to push anything on anybody that they don't want. Okay, so this is just, I need this. I need to hear truth. And this week, I just had a really good interaction with one of you all and on Facebook, and I really enjoyed it. And just, comparing notes on differences, and it just really hit me just how much there's a works mentality, in our culture, a works in the sense of making ourselves, acceptable to God. And after reading through this list that this person sent me of what she needs to do to be acceptable to God in her way of faith, I was exhausted. And at the same time, I was exhausted, and I was thankful to God that, I just said, thank you, God, that I'm a Christian, that I'm in you, because I could never earn what you have blessed me with. Never, ever in a million years, even on my best days, even if all my best days were all that were repeated, it still falls so incredibly short of perfection, of godliness, in my understanding. Anyway, so I just wanted to read you in case you ever feel like that. You feel like, oh, I'm never going to be good enough. Well, of course, none of us are ever good enough. Let me give you the hope that you might need. This is why I can experience joy, and because I know I have been forgiven much. And so I'm just going to read from Ephesians. This is Paul's epistle to the Ephesians, chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. And he writes, for by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. And then that also made me think of some of my favorite verses in the Bible, the red letter parts, that Jesus speaks to his followers and beckoning people to come to him. He says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." So, I that just blesses me beyond words. So I hope that encouraged some of you out there. If you're feeling heavily burdened, then maybe you're carrying a burden that you were never designed to carry. Just a thought. And I would say go to Jesus because his yoke is easy and his burden is light. Well, I hope that encourages you some. I need to be reminded of this. So I'm reminding myself as I read this, and I need this. So anyway, I am not going to be here next week. I forgot to tell you that earlier. I'm going to be in Pittsburgh. So, and things are going to be way too busy to do a broadcast, but I do hope to do some filming, and I'll try to send you all a summary maybe early in the week that follows. But I'm going to miss seeing you guys next week, but I hope to be here the week after. God bless. Bye bye.